Hey guys, just when I thought that my favorite Warlock build, you know, the one that allows you to spam an infinite amount of turrets and complete Grandmasters with ease, couldn't get any better, here comes Bungie putting that cherry on top. And for those wondering what I am talking about, check out this clip. This is me in a Master Nightfall while being under the recommended power level, and look at what happens to this champion. It takes 2 mags of Taraba to absolutely destroy it. Now, I'm not telling you to use Taraba by no means, but this is just an example of how strong this build can get. Bungie indirectly buffed this build by fixing how the fragment Whisper of Rending works, as now the 40% damage increase applies to all primary weapons, meaning any weapon with infinite ammo will get a 40% damage boost when shooting at frozen targets. At first, this doesn't seem like much, but when you combine it with a bunch of already hard-hitting weapons like Monarch or Wish Ender, it actually ends up making a big difference, especially because this whole build is about freezing everything. But even more, the reason why this is so good is because in Grandmasters, this 40% damage increase is actually very big. Combine it with the burn of the activity, and you're already hitting 75% harder with your weapons, making Grandmasters a lot easier. However, Stasis weapons is where things get crazy with this fragment. You can combine them with Font of Might, Monochromatic Maestro, and even High Energy Fire on top of that, resulting in some disgusting damage increase when a target is frozen. For example, this hand cannon went from hitting 8000 to hitting for a whooping 19,000 on a frozen enemy, and that is without any damage perks on the hand cannon. Another good example is this bow doing 17,000 raw compared to almost 41,000 with the combo. So you can already imagine what you can do if you were to go with a more damage focused build. I've been experimenting with a more damage orientated build, so if you want me to release it, let me know in the comments below. However, today's build is going to be focused on Grandmasters and harder content. This build will allow you to be a lot more flexible and use whatever weapons you want, which is very important, as in Grandmasters you really want to try matching the burn of the activity for that free 25% damage increase. This build is also more focused around surviving, and that's the most important thing in harder content. To get this build started, we are going to be using the Osmiomancy gloves, because they are absolutely goated and a top tier exotic for Stasis Warlocks. These gloves give you a second charge of your Cold Snap Grenade. They also give you grenade energy back whenever your Cold Snap Grenade hits an enemy, as well as it allows the Seekers to travel further. The beauty about this exotic is that it allows you for a very flexible playstyle, as it gives you the choice of whether you want to throw a Cold Snap Grenade or a Stasis turret, both being excellent crowd control options. Also, quick tip for when you guys throw Cold Snap Grenades, try throwing them directly at the enemy so they hit them before dropping to the ground, as this will grant you more grenade energy in return. The aspects that we are going to be using for this build are Bleak Watcher and Glacial Harvest. Bleak Watcher allows you to turn your grenade into a Stasis turret, and Glacial Harvest makes Stasis shards next to frozen enemies. We are going to use those shards to become charged with light in this build. The shards also provide melee energy when picked up. Fragment wise, we are going to be using Whisper of Rending for that 40% damage increase on frozen targets. Whisper of Durance, because this will allow our turrets to last 5 seconds longer for a total duration of 30 seconds. Whisper of Chains, because it provides a 40% damage reduction when we are standing next to friendly Stasis crystals or frozen targets, and this can save you multiple times when you're in a sticky situation. And finally, Whisper of Torment, because it provides grenade energy whenever we get hit. If you feel like you're not getting hit a lot, then feel free to swap out Whisper of Torment for either Conduction or Rhyme. Before we get into the mods, I would like to ask for a minute of your time to check out today's sponsor. If you're tired of missing out on Ada 1 mods or even Xur God rolls, then I have the perfect solution for you. Awesome is a remote control app that you can use from anywhere in the world that allows you to connect your device using your mobile phone and control it. That way, if you're on vacation or away from home, you can still grab those precious mods that we all need to make builds in Destiny 2. It is available on Windows, iOS and Android, and it is free to download. With their premium package, you can also get access to a ton of customization as well as game keyboards and shortcuts. You can very easily add and remove keys to your screen depending on what you need, as well as change their size. They even support 144 FPS when using a PC to PC connection. And to top this off, they even have a smart plug that allows you to turn your PC on and off from anywhere, anytime. Which means you won't even have to leave your PC running when you're away. The first 200 people that download and use this code will get a 7-day free trial. Big thanks to Awesome for sponsoring this video, and make sure to check them out. Mod-wise, we are going to keep this very simple, as we are going to be using 3 copies of Firepower with Elemental Shards and Elemental Charge. Each copy of Firepower provides us with a 15% of grenade energy back whenever we throw it while being charged with light, for a total 45% energy return. Elemental Shards makes our Stasis Shards count as Stasis Elemental Wells, meaning that we will get charged with light whenever we pick one of them thanks to Elemental Charge. Now, if you don't like the whole picking up Stasis Shards deal, then you can also opt in for Charge Harvester and Stack on Stacks, as this will grant you 2 stacks of charge with light every 5 to 6 kills that you get. Other important mods in this build are Bomber mods on your Bond, as they provide us with grenade energy whenever we use our Rift. Weekend Clear is also very nice if you plan on using grenade launchers for that 15% debuff. Let's talk about weapons. This build allows you to be very flexible, which means you can use any weapon you want in the game. My recommendation is to always match the burn of the activity, because you don't want to miss out on that 25% damage increase. For example, if I'm doing a Grandmaster with a Void Burn, then I'm going to be using Le Monarch, Pointed Inquiry, or Gnawing Hunger. And if the burn is solar, then Hierarchy, Ticus, and Ogma PR6 are excellent choices for that. You guys get the idea. These are some of my favorite weapons, but realistically, you can use whatever you need to deal with champions, so don't be afraid to play around with it. Okay, now that you fully understand the build and the setup, let's talk about how we can maximize the potential of this Frosty Warlock. The most important rule when it comes to Stasis Warlocks is that you always want to be charged with light before throwing down your turret. Now, we can do this by freezing an enemy and collecting the Stasis Shard. The easiest way to freeze an enemy is by throwing our melee at them, or even a cold snap grenade if there is more than one enemy. If you want to be as efficient as possible and able to throw an infinite amount of turrets, then you are going to have to alternate between a turret and a cold snap grenade. Meaning that once you are charged with light, you will throw down a turret first, followed by a cold snap grenade. We do this because the cold snap grenade will give you more energy than what you spent throwing it, meaning that you will actually end up gaining grenade energy. After using your grenade twice, remember to pick up another Stasis Shards so you can become charged with light once again. And then simply rinse and repeat by throwing down another Stasis turret, followed by a cold snap grenade. This is how you cycle an infinite amount of grenades with this specific build. Don't forget that you also get grenade energy whenever you cast your Rift, meaning that you should be spamming your Rift as much as possible as long as you feel like you're in a safe spot. That is pretty much all for today's video. If you have any questions, then join my Discord and I'll gladly help you out. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.